states up and down the East Coast, as well as island nations in the Caribbean. 6.5 million homes are still without power. The latest death toll, at least 69 people. 2 deaths reported in Maryland, 2 more in Virginia. We've just heard of another death today in Annapolis. We're hearing now that a contractor died in Annapolis after being killed by a falling tree. Sandy, okay, let's pitch it over to Dan Satterfield. A quick update again. We have lost all of our servers, having problems behind the scenes. We've got no video at the moment, so we're going to pitch it over to Dan.
All right, guys. Well, I have plenty of video. We'll just start here, and I'll update you on the winds and seas. And we'll also talk about some very strange things over the last 48 hours weather-wise that we have noticed as forecasters. And didn't have a chance to talk about it much yesterday, but I will today. Here's the Atlantic, partly sunny. The seas down to 3 to 4 feet. The winds out of the west at 10 to 20 knots. You might notice that the water temperature in the Atlantic has really dropped. The reason for that was Hurricane Sandy. It churned up the ocean. It took colder water beneath the surface, brought it up to the surface. So the water out there has gone from way above normal for this time of the year to way below. Even the Chesapeake now, temperature down to 59. The winds tomorrow, this is for tomorrow, out of the west at 10 to 15 knots. The waves tonight still running 3 to 4 feet, but they will calm down a bit during the day tomorrow. And Delaware Bay is already doing pretty well. Seas down to 2 to 3 feet. The water temperature, actually the warmest of all of them right now at 63 degrees. The winds tomorrow out of the west 10 to 15. Now we could see some gusts up to 20 or 25 knots in the afternoon on all area waters, but for the most part the wind's going to die down. They may actually pick up a bit again on Friday, but not due to the tropical system. Here's what it looks like on the regional radar. Believe it or not, it was dry over Delmarva today. Now for those of you in the Salisbury area and over in Ocean City and on down south, you may have thought, well, we had a fairly sunny afternoon. That was actually the exception. Those of you in Delaware and on the upper shore know that it was a fairly cloudy day, and some of this is still a little bit of snow, although for the most part now it's light rain, and it is indeed light rain. Still getting some gusty winds though across Lake Erie up there. Temperatures to our west still quite cold, the snow tapering off. 39 in Pittsburgh, 39 also up at Morgantown, West Virginia. Lewisburg, West Virginia still holding on to a chilly 34. Baltimore Airport at 52. Ocean City right now at 53, and Philadelphia at 50 degrees. Now, as we go through the evening hours, trick or treat, at least in many spots, it's going to be pretty chilly. We're not going to see the temperature change much. We'll fall back down into the low 40s by midnight, partly to mostly cloudy, but there will be no rain. There will be a light wind at 5 or 10 miles an hour. So parents, you're going to want to dress the kids up. It's going to be a pretty chilly Halloween. 4 a.m. temperature at 41. We should see some sunshine tomorrow. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, the temperature not much warmer than today, but it will be a sunnier day, and the winds continue out of the west at around 8 to 16 miles an hour. Now, here's what's left of Sandy. It's up near Buffalo, New York right now. And this one I'm going to tell you about what's kind of strange here. You know, when we first saw that a hurricane might be developing down the Caribbean, the first thing I and any other forecaster would think is, okay, it's late October. Hurricanes get curved into the North Atlantic in late October. The reason for that is because the jet stream winds really start to pick up as we get into fall out of the west. That would steer any hurricane off into the Atlantic. So why didn't Sandy do that? And the reason is way off here up in Greenland. It's a great big high pressure center in the upper atmosphere. The winds are rotating clockwise around that. So as Sandy came up, instead of getting that normal jet stream wind off to the east, we had that big high over Greenland, a big upper level low out over Chicago, and that took the storm right into the Jersey coast, right across extreme North Delaware, and now it's lifting on up to the north. Why was that high there? Well, it's pretty unusual. It was there. There are some folks, by the way, who think that it might be the loss of sea ice in the Arctic this summer could have had something to do with that. Over the last few years, that upper level high has been getting stronger and stronger over Greenland. If you get that in the wintertime, by the way, you get a big blizzard on the East Coast. So this was just a late October version of a wintertime nor'easter caused by that big blocking high that develops over Greenland. This is the water vapor imagery tonight, and you can see the circulation around Sandy is at last beginning to fall apart just a bit. We have another little system. See this little curve right in here? This is another upper level low pressure center that's going to swing on through. As it goes on through tomorrow night, we won't get any rain out of it, but what it will probably do is end up bringing the winds back up just a little bit as we go into Friday night, and Saturday. It's also going to bring in a bit more chilly air into the area, unfortunately. and we're going to stay on the cold side, maybe even a bit colder still as we go into Friday night and Saturday night. I'm talking lows at night down into the upper 30s. Now, here's the latest computer model run. You can see the wind flow. I've kind of put that on there for you. Generally out of the west today. It will start to switch more to the northwest tomorrow. We're still going to see a lot of cloud cover, but it will slowly but surely begin to thin on out. Any precip should be to our north. It will be windier up across Pennsylvania.